Hey guys, it's Mint. So I posted a video a couple days ago with my first kind of look at the BiS list for Phase 3 for Warriors. And after I posted it, I mean, I wasn't too happy with the numbers, but that was kind of my first shot, just kind of looking at it. And I found two very good variations of both the soft cap that I was aiming at, as well as a armor pen stacking build. They have two very specific things different with them, and we'll go over them right now. But before we go over that, I also found some more optimizations. So when we're simming, looking at the settings, they're a little bit different than before. So just to kind of focus on just raw damage, I excluded the fact that I would be keeping up shouts, so that gives it like a 5 DPS increase. It's nothing crazy. There were new patch notes that Shattering Throw will be instant cast, but it's not on the sim yet, so we'll eventually want to start using this and it will be a DPS increase, but for now we'll just kind of simulate it as if we're using it, but without actually using it on the sim, because we have the debuff that will actually be up. Again, same thing with the pot, same thing with the food. There's one thing different here. I had a different rage threshold, and when I lowered it here, it made it much better. So what I did here, Heroic Strike costs 12. This means that the sim will always use Heroic Strike no matter what. Before it was like 30, so it didn't use it sometimes, so it ended up losing DPS on the sim, even though you do more in the real world. So this is what I changed. Then I changed the percentage threshold. If the boss is above this threshold, it will use rend. If it's under this threshold, the rend will not be used. So that kind of goes over those settings. A small change right there. On the talents, previously I showed the improved shout build, and this build is very good. It's only a 50 DPS decrease, but this is used for progression, because if you don't have another warrior that is sacrificing and doing improved commanding shout, and you really need that for progression, this is the build to go with, because it gives that extra health to all the party members. If you're on farm, doing this build will just give you more DPS, 50 DPS. If you want to min-max, this is the build to go for. It allows you to get more rage from auto attacks. Even though you don't use execute that much, it makes it cheaper and it gives you a little bit more rage. So just all around about 50 DPS increase on this. So to go over the gear real quick, this is kind of an upgrade off of my last build, because my last build was just strength and just going for the soft cap. As we look at the stats here, we're exactly at 8%, which is perfect. We have 6.5% expertise, and we have 2 points over armor pen cap, which is perfect. The things that we changed were the bracers. When I was looking at the previous build, I forgot that male gear exists. So when I I had the filter disabling male gear when I was going through it previously, so I didn't even know they were there. So, and there's some sick male gear in Phase 3. So we changed the bracers to these ones, which give crit armor pen. We swapped, because of all those changes, we kind of swapped a bit more. Now our offset is going to be gloves. These are perfect. So we're using these gloves, and we're going to be using the tiered legs now. They're shit, but at least they give us foresight. We're still using the same boots, and we're changing the belt. Previously, I was going for the bloodbath girdle, which is all right, but since we have the different setup, we're doing the belt of deathly dominion. So it's a male belt again, one of those pieces that I forgot about. And then we have the same 2 rings, same trinkets, same everything else. So if we do a 20,000 iteration sim, I'm going to skip this real quick so you guys can see the end result. Here we go. So 11,494 DPS. The last time we did that build, we only had like about 11,100. So it's about a 300, 400 DPS increase, which is very, very good compared to 94, 9,500 DPS that we got in Phase 2. It almost around 2,000 DPS increase from Phase 2 to Phase 3, which is nuts. Now, the second option is, so this is the option I'm going to go for, honestly, and the reason why I'm going to touch on in a second. So the second one is the high armor pen build. You obviously swap all of your gems, so you're not gemming strength, you're actually gemming full armor pen. You keep the ring from Algalon, and you use Comet's Trail instead of Mjolnir's. So with all the armor pen and everything, again, we have 1131 armor pen. So if we have this as a reference, the reference right now is the soft cap. So if we do another sim here real quick, so see you in a second. It actually has 11 less DPS, which is just margin for error pretty much compared to soft cap. So essentially either going for high armor pen stacking with this build or soft cap with the other build is virtually identical. What's going to make it different? Depends what you have right now. So in my position currently, I don't have Comet's Trail, and there's a lot of people in my guild that still don't have it. So it's very unlikely I'm gonna get to that point where I'm gonna get that trinket. That being said, I'm not gonna go through. I mean, if I get lucky, I'll take it just so I have the option of going this route. Since I don't have Comet's Trail, I'm not going to bother with this build because I just don't want to go through that. So that's why I'm going to be going Mjolnir's Runestone, because it's literally does more DPS, but it's much better for my position because I already have that trinket. So I only have to get Death's Verdict. I don't have to fight for 2 trinkets, which is good in my position. So if you're lucky enough to have Comet's Trail already, you have the option of going both and kind of testing out as it go. That's kind of my quick update here. So the extra 300, 400 DPS that I found, and 2 very viable builds that you can just kind of choose to go for. And the last closing note is the soft cap one will be what you're going to be doing most of the time, because until you get all of this gear to even have that high armor pen on the other build, the soft cap is always going to be above it pre-BiS. Like until you get your full BiS, the soft cap is going to be better. And then the sad part is once you even get to that high armor pen full BiS, you're still not better than soft cap. So just soft cap, in my opinion, is just better all around. So I appreciate you guys sticking around and looking at this part 2 of the BiS list. If you like what you see, like and subscribe. And if you have some suggestions on a new build and how we can improve this, please leave your comments down below. We'll take a look at them. See you in the next one.